Welcome back to Copa America, you StarCraft fiends. Here we are in the last best of 3 of the night. The last match for this group stage, Group C. We already had B-Lord get out of this alive. We'll see which of these two can join him. Of course, this is a bit of a rematch between JimRising and Gosudark, but we'll see if this if history repeats itself. Whatever the case may be, spawning here in the bottom right corner of the map, it is the blue Protoss, Gosudark from Shot Esports.
In the bottom left is the red Zerg. It is JimRising from Chaos Latin Gamers.
So not to do, I guess this the quick recap of that first series, guys. I mean, I really don't want to beat Gosudark down before he's had a chance to get started. The thing was, though, JimRising just was all over this first series. It was a 2-0, but it's not like it was a close 2-0. A lot of the times you get kind of excited. You're like, okay, the series may have ended 3-1 in that best of 5, but at least every game was really close. JimRising had a really clear lead. Game number 2, you could argue was cheese or not, but I do think it was articulated and not just kind of like a YOLO type move. With that Night of Storm, of course, and Overgrowth is what I'm referring. But Gosudark had some time to sit and think, and he got a nice clean walkover over poor Darkness, who is, again, with 6, so he couldn't continue competing. But we'll see if he's crafted anything in his downtime, in his wait, to try and get his revenge here.
I think we kind of forgot a little bit about that first game because the second game was such a, like, this is easy for JimRising. But that first game, that build that he did, the 3-gate with the kind of fake Nexus, if you know, want to go with that.
Yeah.
It almost worked. You know, that was actually really close. The Immortal Central and follow-up against the Mutas was where it was like, you're probably not going to work out because you let the Lings through. But no, not that I don't think we're gonna see that again. That was something that definitely just, banked on the surprise factor. But he's not like completely out of it. It's not like he was just making so many different mistakes and it's like a bronze before a GM or something like that.
I wouldn't disagree, but at the same time, there's a reason you don't really see a whole lot of 3-gate, 4-gate that focus on the natural more than the third. I mean, something we really commonly see, well, uncommonly, there's a lot of Lings come across the map, but JimRising, for him, this is normal. But we're so used to seeing, like, 3 gates of aggression implied at a third. Lots of Zealots, 7 warped in, usually kills the Queen, kills the Roaches, knocks down a third base. But for Gosudark, I feel like his targeters were slightly off. Aiming for the natural requires a little bit more than what he put into it.
Well,
if he's going to try and apply the same tactics.
He was trying to do something that was a, cutthroat maneuver. Those 3 gates that we see that attack the third, they come a lot later and off like a 2-base saturation, Because that's what they're supposed to do, and that's why you see it all the time. What he did was just like, I hope I surprise you enough to kill you. Just like straight up. And if I don't kill you, I weaken you enough to do that Immortal Central in. Which honestly, if that Immortal Central in hadn't had the Link counterattack, it might have been the perfect 1-2 punch. But that Link counterattack just like destroyed it.
Well, one of the big things we see out of Gosudark, not spending all his Chrono energy on that Cyber Core, not yet at least. So, gets the Mothership Core out, gets his natural base down. So for Gosudark, he's got a little bit more in mind than just going for some quick cheese. But JimRising, a little bit worried, a little bit paranoid, says, I remember Frost, it's not going to happen again. 2 Spine Crawlers coming down right away. This would never happen if this didn't happen, if the first game didn't go the way it did. In fact, I kind of feel like he needs to cancel the second one upon the scout. Like, he confirms there's not a lot of gateways down.
Yeah, the gateways would have gone down a couple of seconds ago because they were ready to go by about 6:15 at least. So I would agree. I mean, the spine crawlers will become more useful. He's gonna be able to transfer him to the third once he gets it and all that. But right then and there, you really want this, that drone and the extra 100 minerals for 2 more drones.
Yeah, I mean, 2 Spine Crawlers isn't going to be awful. Actually, you know what? It will be against this one particular opening with a StarCraft.
Right, yeah.
I was going to say, it'd be nice, it helps ward off the Zealots. You can put it on your third. Maybe it buys a little bit of time here and there. But
I don't think... this is no longer paranoia. JimRising is doing something weird. He's getting the Roach Warren, and he's getting it early there.
I don't think it's anything weird. I think he's just expecting gateway aggression coming his way. Less than paranoia. I mean, the Stargate opening... He's not going to see this, right? The Overlord might catch a glimpse of the Overcall since it's going to rally past it, but no Spore Crawlers down, only the Queen. This Oracle's guaranteed to get a couple kills.
I don't know. It's JimRising. Usually even if you're doing something that like isn't really economy heavy, you still get a third just to have a third as a Zerg player. You might be going for, again, fast mutas with that Roach Warren just being for emergencies. that actually might be what I'm banking on. I don't know if I want to place money on that, but...
Well, this is kind of a cool move. He rallied the Oracle around this. So the Lings won't see the Oracle won't see the Lings. But between a Photon Overcharge and a Force Field, JimRising's not going to get any damage done here.
No. Oracles, I mean, sometimes they do damage. I mean, he's going to get a few drones, you can see here.
Yeah, he pulls right away, actually. Kind of nice.
Yeah, and then you can just run away. It's also a good scout, as we can see. Like, even if it hadn't seen the mutas, or the Spire, rather, it would have gotten the Revelation off. But seeing that Spire, you know, that is really important. That is, you know, obviously what JimRising chose to do. So I was kind of right in that it was no longer just like
okay.
He had a plan.
Okay, so this was weird for a moment out of Gosudark. Like, I'm like, okay, he saw the Spire, but he keeps going with the Void Ray. But it's the double Stargate behind it that makes this so, like, he's ready to rock and roll, guys.
Triple Stargate is just too much off of 2 bases, though, I think.
Well, for trying to get a lot of Phoenix, thinking out that there's going to be, like, maybe 20 Mutalisks on the way very quickly, I can understand the panic. But you're right, you only do need 2 Stargates producing Phoenix to deal with this. And JimRising, quite frankly, I don't think he's even going to go into it. He might let the Spire complete for the sake of having the tech, but we see the Hydra's down on the way, and I don't think there will be that big of a dedication, if any, of Mutalisks.
I think I agree with you here. I kind of wish that, you know, it still is 2 bases for both players, but obviously, you know, Zerg always needs to be a base ahead and all that jazz. But to dedicate the 200 for the Spire, but then also get the Hydras and the upgrades for the Hydra, that's a lot of gas off of what was 2 bases for a very long time.
Right.
So it's like, you are going to use the Spire later for the transition, but...
Well, that's what I'm thinking. Like, even if it's not Mutalisks, after revealing the Hydralisk, you might have Colossus to deal with. So by letting that complete, you know, you'll have the capability for Corruptors rather than panicking for it later on.
Oh, okay, and Precision Bit as well. See, tech swaps and tech choices like this is not uncommon. It's just off the back of very low economy.
I don't think this is going to be Swarm Host, curiously enough. Although it wouldn't be too bad with the fact that his opponent's going so Phoenix heavy.
Infestors? Really?
I think it might be, if he's worried about catching this. I mean, Hydras are pretty good with DPS, but as we see, it's sometimes still just a little bit too slippery. Those did get one of the Phoenix, but this may actually end up being Swarm Host now, once you realize the tech swap has happened to the Robo, but I don't know. I want to think that's the case, because it wouldn't make sense really to go blind. The reason you don't see a lot of Swarm Host versus mass Phoenix openings is because the Phoenix can just pick them up out of the ground. There's no anti-air to stop that.
Yeah, they actually aren't the worst things to have against Swarm Hosts. There's worser things.
Yeah.
Mortals.
I mean, like, it's not, you don't want to build Phoenixes into Swarm Hosts. Don't get me wrong. I'm just saying, like, it would be weird to see that happen. Either way, he's got it down. It's available. We'll see what he does with it. No Hive coming down just yet.
Okay. Alright, it's Infestors. So
yeah,
I can see that, because they're also going to be effective against the Void Rays. You know, it's just really, like, neither player really knows what the other one's doing, honestly. Like, they can guess that their opponent's reacting to what they show.
Well,
but, like, there's so many things that aren't shown. Like, JimRising doesn't know that he's back into Void Rays.
Right, and this was kind of funny. Like, he's seen 3 Stargates, and for Gosudark, he saw the Spire and the Infestation bit. But at the same time, nobody really knows what the unit composition is. No one knows what the core value of each army is going to be. For Gosudark, though, I do like they finally got on this 3rd base. Everything he's doing right now, Robo, 3 Stargates, like, this is all way too gas heavy to sustain off of 4 gases.
Yeah. As you can see, he can't possibly produce 3 Stargates, the Robo, the tech, and the upgrades. You know, all of that just, you know, it can't go all at once. So it is coming about, you know. He's only using a few production facilities, but it is good he's going to be able to get up this 3rd. He is getting a rather powerful army. You know, Void Ray Colossus was the thing back in the Heart of the Swarm's day.
Well, the thing, too, is Void Rays are not even that bad versus Hydralisks. Hydralisks are not an automatic counter to Void Rays. If you get enough Void Rays with enough Zealots to buffer, Hydras will go down, guys. They got a lot of damage, but they don't have a lot of health. They die very quickly.
Yeah, that's why you usually get the Lings, because they provide some buffer, but also the Infestors.
Oh, man, he flies the Phoenixes right into the Hydras. That's the harass. That's the map control now gone from Gosudark. But yeah, I like the Infestor choice a lot. The Void Rays, of course, they do a lot of damage because they can reach everything at the same time. But if you fungal them, only about 2 out of the 6 can attack at any given time. So the Hydras are actually going to contend a little bit better. The fungals, I don't know if it'll even come into effect for the Colossus or not. For everything else, crushing force field, generating sentries, stopping Zealots dead in their tracks, the Void Rays, the Mothership Core. Fungal growths would be really nice to have, for sure.
Yeah. It's been such an odd game. It's like it started a lot earlier than it should with all this tech. And they finally got into the 3 base macro game. cannon is popped, it's not that great of a position. I mean, if he gets choked off, one force field, which he doesn't have, so that's lucky for JimRising. If he had got force footed off, that would have been terrible.
Well, the Colossus, what I was gonna say, the fungal growth might not come into effect, but if he leaves the Colossus exposed like that, that's a whole nother case. But all right, so he's got 5 infestors still. He's making the Mutalisks now. And this is kind of, once again, very interesting because we've seen it. He picked up all the Phoenixes. There's been no more Phoenix production. There's no Stalker production. It's a lot of Zealots right now, which do not have charge, of course, but everything he has is geared towards killing the ground and not so much the air.
Yeah. It's just odd. Again, tech switches, not uncommon. They're in fact very, very good in ZV, well, Zerg or anything. But just like how it's happened has been a little weird. Like they're very sharp reactions to each player.
Yeah, it's hardly the waltz. The waltz we're used to seeing.
Yeah, no, it's not a waltz. It's like a, I don't know, like a.
It's the chicken dance.
Sure, it's a.
Copa America. Da 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 da.
But okay, so these mutas are actually going to be very effective, and if he does go back into mass phoenixes, that's what infestors are for now.
Yeah, I like the dark shrine behind this as well. Whether it's DTs because there's not a lot of overseers, whether it's for Archons, both will be pretty effective moving forward. But one cannon does not buy that much time. Fungal growth can allow this army to escape. Oh, they can probably check out one more. Wow, what? 11 HP, lives another day. Overcharge goes off in the natural base. Mutalisks have chased off those probes. Worth noting they didn't kill them. But the fungal growth on the probes that just retreated to this base!
Oh, wow.
Oh, that's devastating.
Geez.
44 probes dead. That was like 30 in one fungal growth.
Oh my god. And the Nexus went down. The mutas are going down, but you know, JimRising just completely gave up on mutas. He was like, have them.
He doesn't need them. He just killed 40 probes. He's killed a whole Nexus.
Gosudark's going back into Phoenixes. You're too late, man. The mutas are gone. They're done with.
Yikes. Okay, so JimRising not only just got a huge lead right there through like economy, blah blah blah, but look at the actual supply value right now. I mean, okay, it's 80 workers, 33, whatever. It's 188 supply versus 122 though. For now, they're both on some kind of similar army supply, but it's worth noting, guys. Gosudark positionally, with Colossus in the back, he'll always have a better engagement potential. And well, these Hydras, unless a Viper gets made sometime soon, he actually never made a Hive. He doesn't have an easy way to engage this.
Yeah, this really isn't that great of a composition. The fungos aren't even that aplenty anymore.
He might be able to just brute force this though. We'll see if
maybe.
He's gonna cheat through the Void Rays first. Colossus just getting unhindered amounts of damage way out behind this, but 24 Roaches coming out behind this. The Void Rays should be able to deal with that. They'll clear out the ground forces maybe.
Well, the Corruptors will take care of the Void Rays, and they gotta shoot down the Void Rays. Or I
Will
mean,
they though?
yeah,
I mean,
they got to. Like, it's their job right now. Kill the Void Rays so the Roaches can't, don't just die.
Void Rays beat out Corruptors, man.
Well, yeah, depending on how many numbers you have.
Oh, fungal growth on top of the Spore Crawler. That's going to help a lot. Roaches, however, don't. They funnel forward into nothingness as they die through this time warp. JimRising, who has still got a massive supply lead, has mostly got that at drones right now, though.
He doesn't have to pull the drones. Like, his reinforcements will be enough. Oh, I just lost a bunch of drones, but it doesn't matter because Gosudark's still way down in supply. I mean, that was his last bet, really. GG.
Game number 1. Going to go to JimRising. Gosudark, man, he was making the right moves, but it feels like it's almost like lagging, right? Like you're making the right moves, but like a whole move behind that of your opponent.
Yeah, he was. It was like he was trying to play catch up. You know, maybe like a better Protoss who was more confident in himself would have just called like JimRising's multiple bluffs and killed him. Because honestly, JimRising was very indecisive. He never really had a very powerful army. Just a lot of like everything and a lot of choices to make. But Gosudark was like, I gotta react. I gotta react. I gotta react.
Well, on top of that, it was a little bit awkward too, because let's not forget, like both players had fully scouted the other, but no one really knew what was going on until about 18 minutes into that game. So, bit of an awkwardness in that regard. But either way, a nice solid win out of JimRising. Game 2 will be hosted here on Overgrowth, I believe. So, it's actually a completely exact rematch of the first series.
He goes for a Nidus Form again. Like, I'm just gonna flip my lid. Be like, no.
Well, I mean, the thing about that Nidus Form that kills me too is like, it's so common for Protoss players to put a pylon in the top left corner of your base that, you know, it's actually really weird that he didn't.
Yeah, well, it really does seem like that is a perfect build, like, counter, and like a hard counter, but like a soft counter, I guess. to all-ins from Protoss on that map because they're always going to try and hide their gateways, and thus they need the pylon to be secret.
Yeah.
I don't know if if you guys don't play Protoss, when you are gearing up to do type of 2-base attack, you actually don't have that many pylons to throw around. You know, a lot go at your natural to go ahead and power up all your wall, which is very important, and then 1 or 2 go on your main, but that's it. There's not like the supply depots to go everywhere like a Terran does.
Well, both players just get into the lobby for Overgrowth. We got all the casters in here. This is a first. All the casters are in here before either of the players. But yeah, this has been a very interesting day. Started off during Homestar Cup. Nice to see we got a nice little bump in viewership. I hope you guys are enjoying Copa America. Do us a favor. This isn't Base Raid TV. This isn't our channel. This is Blizzard's channel. If you guys could, hit that follow button so you get back for more Goku. Sorry, not Goku. Whoa. Copa America. Where did I get Goku from? More Copa America in the future. Because you know what? I got it. Because Copa America is cool just like Goku.
I thought you were going with like Gosu, Copa.
I guess with Gosudark, yeah. If he was...
Yeah.
No, this is a brain fart on that one. Plain and simple. But Overgrowth. We got everyone in here. Just waiting for the go-ahead.
Yo, is Jon Snow still in high school?
I think so. A lot of North
Looks
American
like
players
it.
are like really young.
I didn't know he was that young.
Don't get any ideas on it, Grub.
That's weird. Why would you say that?
Just saying. I never know. Maybe you're into younger kids. I hope you're not.
Really not.
That's just straight up illegal.
Yes, it is.
Alright, everyone saying they're ready? Overgrowth! Come on! Spanish stream! Why do they always do that?
I don't know.
Alright, whatever. Spanish stream, as soon as they're good to go, we're good to go, guys. Just waiting it up on it at the moment. There we go! Alright, Overgrowth. Game number 2. See you guys in a moment. Alright, welcome back to Copa America, ladies and gentlemen. This is Group C. It is the last match of Group C. What this means is in this best of 3, if JimRising can get a 2-0 here, he will join B-Lord as the 2 victors of this group. If Gosudark can turn this around, though, he could also walk out of this group safe and sound. Whatever the case may be, we'll see. Spawn here, though, the bottom left corner of Overgrowth. It is the Red Zerg player from Chaos Latin Gamers, JimRising.
The top right as the blue Protoss. It is Gosudark.
Shot Esports. Now, I've noticed there seems to be some inconsistency on whether we're using the team logos or not. Have you caught that as well?
I have.
Yeah, whoever's been hosting it, it's been like... I thought it was me going crazy, because this was happening on Group A as well, but I guess it's just like inconsistent on whether they actually do it or not. But Shot Esports, actually, I only bring this up because Shot Esports last game we got to see, it had a pretty cool logo. It's got like the whole like winged effect behind like the little shield they got. I like it.
Yeah. You know how we were talking about B-Lord and his like CM Storm thing?
Yeah, that's legit.
Whether it was real or not? Yeah, it
Yeah.
was like they was being asked that, and it's actually legit. I did not know. I guess they have a different.
No, that's really
division.
cool. Like CM Storm's, like I don't want to like start talking about a sponsor that's not present at the moment or anything, but like CM Storm seems to be like one of the bigger like forces in StarCraft right now. You see their presence just about everywhere.
Yeah,
Involved with
I
like
have
everything.
Coincidentally, not because I particularly. Well, anyways. Forge and the Nexus go down for Gosudark. This so far is exactly like the last series where he first went for a Gateway expand and then he went for a Forge expand.
It's, I mean, I don't know. Forge Fast Expand, this was like Wings of Liberty stuff, and it's still got a place in StarCraft 2 right now. Weirdly enough, it does feel like its plays times up better with like a lot of cannon pokes, aggression, whatever you want to call it. But for the most part, gateway expansions just seem so much stronger. You get the mothership core out sooner, you get the energy up faster. You can do those things like the 3-gate, like the 4-gate attacks, whether it's with +1 weapons or not. And those have just seemed to always be so much more effective at getting you ahead as a Protoss player than the quote-unquote safer opening that Gosudark is practicing right now.
Yeah, yeah. I think there's a certain liberty of going for the gateway expand. I mean, first of all, you have the liberty in the case that forward track expand was the only thing Protoss was doing for a very long time. Very famous quote was, forward track expand or die. Not anyone said that.
Well, that
but then the gateway expand came in.
I mean, that was 100% of the matchups too. That wasn't even like a choice.
It was literally like the only thing you could do. Anything else was a 4-gate, which was, was not good. But anyways, and then the gateway expand came. But also, like, liberty and just, like, you actually have units to go out on the map. When you do a forward fast expand, you are just holding to your base, and you just hope that this probe that we see right now can get the scouting that you need.
Actually, how much has he seen before this dies? Okay, so he got to see the no gases, but of course gas is now on the way for JimRising. He should be able to keep this from getting back in there to confirm that. Not that that is that big of a deal in and of itself. Jim, though, is a really uncharacteristic Zerg player, guys. I mean, yeah, he did the Nidus from the Lings last time. That was kind of cool. And it's worth noting Gosudark has learned from his mistake by putting a pylon over here. But ironically enough, not where the Overlord is currently. That aside, though, it's not like he's a one-trick pony. That's the only thing he can do to get a win. JimRising has displayed a lot of really cool talents over the course of time that I've personally got to cast him. And definitely might not be Nidus this game, but we'll still see something cool come out of him for sure.
I'd also expect that if he was going to do the Nidus again, it would only be if the Overlord did not see a pylon. If that mistake was made again. And seeing that, JimRising's going to try something else. He's still going to be on 2 base.
Well, I'm wondering if Gosudark's going to throw down like 6 more gateways like he did last time too. I mean, the pylon's in about that same spot.
Yeah, I think he still will, and the probe's waiting, as we can see. So I think he will do something with at least a few more gateways, because you should have already seen tech down.
Right, or +1 weapons or armor or something, but the Robo Bay... Okay, the Robo Facility, rather, sorry, is on the way.
Okay. That's actually in the... It's funny, but you usually have, like, the Robo in the natural, and, like, all the gateways on your main. It just always seems to go out that way, but the Robo is in the natural. And the Overlord will not see it, so... Really nice moves from Gosudark. This could be the... Immortal Sentry All-In, which is very popular in this map, but it comes back to that question. It's almost exactly the same thing as the first Frost match, where will the mutas, is JimRising getting mutas? Will those just completely demolish this?
The mutas, they've just got such a strong place in this matchup, but a lot of it, as you pointed out before, comes to catching your opponent off guard.
It's Swarm Hosts. It's Swarm Hosts.
Yeah.
There's no way he's going.
But he's doing off 2 bases is what makes me a little bit weirded out here.
You remember back in the beginning of Heart of the Swarm when there's just so many all-ins with 2 base Swarm Hosts? Sometimes with Nidus, too.
Well, actually, you know what? If this was paired with a Nidus, I'd like that a lot more, but there's nowhere you can really sneak that in, sadly.
You just place that at your front.
Yeah,
Were you like, not just like... I feel like we cast so many games where that happened.
Well, no, but that's what I'm saying. Like, a lot is maybe not changed, but more so in the perception of the way people have been dealing with the Swarm Host a lot better. If Jim does do this off 2 bases, I mean, the thing you guys got to consider, Swarm Hosts are very expensive units. 200 minerals, 100 gas. Not something easily replaced. He is going for Swarm Hosts, and that's fine, but... I really don't like that this is off 2 base. The third one coming now is going to make this a little bit better, I suppose. But the thing is, low numbers of Swarm Hosts mean low numbers of Locusts, which means it's actually not that scary to deal with if you're going to go for like something like a push with Immortal Sentry. Not that that's going to be effective, mind you, Immortal Sentry versus a lot of Swarm Hosts, but that's kind of the key point. There's not going to be a lot to start with.
I think it'll still be okay, especially if he can get any spine crawlers down. Obviously, he just scouted the main base of Gosudark, so Gosudark, the jig is up, and it's still going to be a powerful attack, but, JimRising's have a lot of advanced notice, so... I think the one thing is that with Swarm Hosts defending this, it's so much harder to defend your third, because if you have to move they're like tanks, they're like siege, so you got to move them in the correct positions every single time, and if you're out of position once, they can go in and snipe something off.
It's like the weirdest siege tank ever, but you're right. It fills that same role.
Well, that's what they originally intended for. I remember watching the Swarm Host video.
Well, I mean, I sit there and think of a Swarm as a siege tank. Now I just want to like load, like instead of ammo shells, like locusts into a siege tank and just launch them.
Oh God!
Just like broodlords, like mixed with locusts, mixed with tanks, I guess.
Yes. So, yeah. Watching that the hype video or whatever, about Swarm Host, the introductory video. I was like, oh, this looks interesting. This is exactly what Zerg needs. And then they became what they did. So
Yeah, it is
so
what it
that's
is.
a long story.
Okay, so there's going to be 4 Swarm Hosts down. This is only going to be 8 Locust, guys. 3 more on the way. A couple good force fields will beat these back and allow them to push forward. Locusts have a lot of damage, but they don't have a lot of range, probably their greatest weakness, which is what's going to make these sentries so much more important to have. But as we see, they struggle to even really chip through much of the shields.
Yeah,
Links with the counterattack, though, are good. Kills the pilot, means he knows there's another third base coming down. Oh, gets a couple sentries as well.
Oh, and a lot of stalkers. That was a really good chunk of the reinforcements. That third was trying to get up and ready, and he denied it. So again, these link counterattacks working wonders from JimRising. There is a War Prism in the main. I'm not sure if he saw the Swarm Host, but the War Prism is absolutely ideal when attacking in the Swarm Host. You can attack them at both sides. It's a lot more effective.
Zealots aren't even too bad versus Locusts either, if they have charge, but there's no charge in these ones, so struggling to get those connects. Queens are going to live thanks to some transfuses, but Sentries and Immortals get on top of that third.
This is enough to target it down and recall out. In fact, I think that's what he should have done.
Well, he actually picks off the Immortal right away, so Sentries don't have the best DPS for dealing with this. I don't know why Gosudark didn't throw down Force Fields. He didn't need to take any losses there at all.
Too. Yeah, Force Fields in this position is fantastic, and you can just take away the Locust damage entirely and still get the third. Well, loses on Immortal, 2 Sentries. Loses a bunch in Zealots, as I don't think the Zealots really did anything at all. I'm not even sure they killed any Queens.
Yeah, only 2 workers died throughout the entire onslaught, quote-unquote. But he did take down the third base, so cuts into Jim's economy here a little bit, but he's going to double expand to make up for it. I like that move a lot, actually.
You don't have to spend any more money on your Locusts, right? Like, those are
Wait,
free.
are you telling me those are free units? This
am.
whole time I had no idea. The fact that they don't cost money to make, that must make them really good or something.
It's pretty good. One would say that it's a little broken in an economy-based RTS, but I don't know.
Well, so did they make carrier interceptors no longer cost minerals? Is that a change I never heard of?
No, you think that would happen though?
Wait, so you're telling me these units that are basically little Hydralisks are free?
Yeah, or they're for realsies as well. Luckily, there's an observer there, so he does go ahead and take off 2 the Swarm Hosts. The third gets up and it's ready to go. It's really well defended as well. There's a perfect little position for the cannon.
I'm just trying to think, like, can you imagine trying to sell someone on StarCraft hearing stuff like that? Like, this one unit, one race that gets like so many free units.
When you describe it as an economy-based RTS and then you talk about free units, I think people would start scratching their heads.
This is a little bit curious, actually. He's not saying this towards the natural, but instead sends it towards the third. Of course, this is where the Stargates are, so I guess this is where its focus is. Doesn't want there to be that void ray count that shuts down the Swarm Hosts.
Oh, Stargate.
Yeah, that went down fast.
There was a War Prism attack in the main, by the way, and I believe it killed the lair.
Oh, it did. Sorry, I missed that. Good observing skills out of Rifkin being displayed here today. No, that's actually a huge snipe. That's actually a really big snipe, because now if you can get that infestation pit, if you can finish it and seal the deal, no more Swarm Hosts for quite some time.
Yeah.
But third base under attack. He doesn't even care about the Stargate anymore. He's just going for the Nexus.
Well, he gave up on defending. I'm not sure, like... I don't think there's a timing that he's hitting right now. This is not a perfect timing, I don't think.
Well,
where he can take on the army.
Right, there's no real upgrades behind this, too. Like, if Gosudark was like 3-3 Blink Stalker type thing, like, maybe that's different. But he's coming in here with, like, 1-1. He's got 1 Observer, and if that gets picked off, then this army's just dead in the water.
Yeah, and in exchange, he's been losing so much. I don't know why he decided to
Why did he not finish the Nexus? Why do you left it with
That
92?
is weird. That is weird.
Like, just rally 1 Swarm Host that way.
Yeah. I think Gosudark saw an opportunity that wasn't quite there. Almost, but not quite. At the defender's advantage was too big. But
okay, he's gonna lose
Swarm
these.
Hosts. Almost free Swarm Hosts.
Yeah, well, they've done a ton of damage. They're definitely not classified as free anymore. But I'll give him couple probes before they go down. Run by here towards the third. Should be able to finish this off. I mean, there's 3 cannons, but that's 92 health.
He needs like 9 force fields to wrap around the Nexus.
Exactly, or just 5 over here to get the terrain. But I don't know. I don't have a lot of confidence to go through force fields after that attack on the third. That just really bugged me. He shouldn't have lost anything to that. Jim might have lost his main too, by the way, guys, but it's worth noting he's still got that extra base he did take down here in the bottom right, so his income's still looking pretty good. He will focus down the Nexus. Nice little snipe. No!
Stop!
4
No,
HP!
Please!
Okay. Jim
another attack in the main. When he loses these roaches. These roaches should die. Do they even have speed? They don't even have speed, so they do look abnormally slow for a reason, trying to do what they can before they die.
Galil Reconstitution Roaches versus non-Galil Reconstitution Roaches. I can't even. This is so weird to watch happen, but okay, they die. They've hurt his opponent a little bit here. I think the problem is, though, Jim, not exactly monstrously far ahead right now. He did lose a lot of those Swarm Hosts, which is, truthfully, a lot of the strength in the game. I mean, that wasn't like 2 or 4 harassing. That was like a good 8 that he lost on the other side of the field. So a lot of money gone down, and right now we do see some Hydras coming out, some Roaches as well. 26 Lings I like for the buffer potential, but there's still a lot of force fields available in this army.
Yeah. Yeah, a lot of money from Gosudark has gone to harassment, which did well. I mean, killing the lair was certainly very good, and there was additional harassment that killed, I guess, a couple of drones too. But that was a chunk of change that he really didn't have a lot to give. You know, he wasn't on 3 bases for a very long time. He's pushing in here. This might be able to get the 3rd, and then he could recall out. And I think again that would be his best bet.
Well, gonna get the base for sure. Can he snipe?
He's focusing.
He's focusing it though. Oh, he gets the mothership core. Big deny on a JimRising. Now he forces the fight. He'll be able to clean up with the Locust, with the Hydralisk. And yeah, I think that you pretty much summarized it. He just won.
Jeez. Okay. Well, he thought he had more time. Obviously, he thought he had more time to recall. It's not like, you know, he didn't think of it until the last second. He just thought he had more time, and that was just, it wasn't there. More harassment went down into the main. It didn't do enough. That 4th base, it's still like, hasn't even been scouted. No. So Gosudark may be thinking like, oh, he was like on 1 base for a while. Like I'm okay. No, he's on 3 bases.
Yes, Gosudark. That is exactly what just happened.
Exactly what happened. Did he? I hope he noticed that it happened, or he didn't like. It'd be funny if he thought he did recall and just wasn't looking. He's like, oh, what happened to my army over there?
Recall got bugged out. This is. Can we recover a replay, please? Okay. Well, I mean,
this push.
Even the force fields, they'll buy him a little bit of time, but that's it. And even then, time isn't not what he needs. Production is what he needs. In fact, actually,
well, actually, attack it.
Decent force fields. Catches some of the
army
army
here. If he just attacked, he would have killed all the sentries, but now he's gonna kill all the sentries.
Yeah. Gosudark's also losing his natural at the same time. This is pretty bad. Jim's also got upgrades too, guys, worth noting. Something Gosudark does not have. Typically you see a Protoss player just chronoing out those upgrades double at a time, but...
Yeah. Sniped you overseer, so the DT is trying to be heroes.
Actually, DT's... I mean, they're like, what, 2-shot the Hydras, I think? Was it? It's 40 damage a shot? I can't see with the ESL overlay.
It's 2-shot, pretty sure.
Yeah. So he's starting to bleed out a little bit. It's not going to take a long time to get these overseers over here, but just got to be on the run. Sadly, he as well has no detection, though, so he can't do anything. Oh, there we go. Observer floating over. Now he can start picking up some of the Swarm Hosts. That's a lot of DTs.
Many DTs. He's really trying to take advantage of the fact that overseers are dead, but it didn't last long enough.
Good attempt, though. I like that move to get back in the game. It's way better than Zealots, Sentries, or anything else he could have warped in. But JimRising will take the group now 2-0, or not the group, sorry, the game 2-0, and get out of the group alive. Joining his friend B-Lord here for Group C as the champion. So, woo!
Yeah!
JimRising and B-Lord, 2 Zergs.